Ladies and gentlemen, one of the biggest EVE wars ever is actually here again. There's another massive war in EVE Online. Let's check it out. Let's cover it. We've got a fantastic video here from Capsuleers. I'm going to link this video for you in the description. Capsuleers, let's take it away. I'm going to preemptively give you a nice like to this video. God bless you for covering this. Let's see what we've got coming in here. Capsuleers, what's going on with the war, brother? Tell me.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel. So what we're going to be diving into today is the new huge thing that's happening in nullsec called a nullsec block war. Now, essentially, what we're going to do is break down what's going on, what's been announced, where it was announced, the kind of war goals, and what you can expect to see throughout the entire game. Because these kind of wars do affect the entire game.
They do.
Not just the small areas of
I was just about to say the CSS. Which corp is this guy with? Because before we go further, assume everything you hear is some kind of propaganda. This is a thing in EVE. This is a culture of EVE. In order to keep the war efforts going, a lot of what you're going to hear is going to be true from a certain point of view. You know, it's literally Obi-Wan Kenobiing it. So he's a goon. Okay. So assume that this is going to be very pro-goons and maybe like bad pandemic, bad horde, bad. We'll see. We'll see. Just it needs to be said because we have a lot of new people coming into EVE Online. And whenever you see a war report like this, we're going to see what's up. But you have to take everything with kind of a grain of salt. Okay, so let's see.
Which is the war is actually happening. Now, I say small areas, it's not a particularly small area. So on Saturday evening, UK time, I think it was like 1900 EVE time, or
about 4 days ago.
1800 EVE time. I can't remember which one it was.
5 days ago.
There was something called the State of the Alliance, which, if you are new to EVE, State of the Alliance is where the Alliance leader goes onto comms or some form of broadcast network or whatever. Which in this case, it was streamed over on Imperium News Network Twitch channel. A link to that will...
One of my viewers just linked that to me as well. I'll put both of these into the description so you can go watch this one for yourself as well. This is an hour-and-a-half video, I think. So we're not going to react to this. We're just going to react to this. I'll put both of those in the description so y'all can go check it out and watch it. Get some good EVE culture coming in. Let's keep watching. Yeah.
Down below so you can actually find that and watch the whole State of Goonian itself, which it was only about 5-10 minutes long, but the leader,
maybe I'll watch it.
He actually announced what's going to be happening. Now, he gave a little bit of back history on the whole reasoning for it. Now, I will dive into that very, very quickly, just because I don't want to dwell on it, as I've got loads of videos on that previous war, which will be in the EVE folder, the playlist. So we, as Goon Swarm and Imperium, we used to live down here. And we did have...
They moved?
We had Old Legacy.
Oh,
we had
they moved
Horde,
back in the day.
We had
That's
Fraternity,
right. Yeah.
And there was other
that was last year.
Groups all around. And essentially, I think it was about 5 years ago now, the whole of nullsec actually blew up to come and attack us here. And at the time, initially...
We actually just covered that in our Down the Rabbit Hole segment. We just finished Down the Rabbit Hole. The last Down the Rabbit Hole video is coming out very soon. It took us a year and a half to react to the whole thing. It's funny hearing this stuff and like we know what happened because we've watched the videos. You've been with us, Chan, so you've seen all of it too. Yeah. It's a little quiet. I will keep turning it up.
Initiative was part of the Imperium. So we lived in this area, and all of this area of nullsec came out to fight us. And even some groups from lowsec jumped on the bandwagon. And we ended up losing all our space down to a last constellation where our capital was. Our capital staging system, our home system, and the surrounding 5 or 6 systems around it, which essentially the whole war did collapse because they realized that they couldn't actually push through into our capital.
Yeah, that was the thing we saw in the Down the Rabbit Hole thing where they all pushed. I'm getting my pen tool going. They all got pushed to their home system. So back in the day, they owned like this. This was like their main thing, okay? And maybe it was some up here too. I don't remember exactly. And because this map looks a little bit different than I remember. I think they owned some over here as well down in like Paragon. So they got pushed to like here, right? So they went from like all this to like this little circle there, and they got pushed back all the way. And then Fountain 2, okay, so it was all of this as well. Thank you, champ. Please correct me. So it was all this nice phallic shape here, right? So once they got pushed back, the CCP devs changed Down the rabbit hole saying that they CCP devs changed how high-sec keep stars work, and a crap ton of the war effort was being funded by the rest of the people. All of this was against all of this, right? In short, there was more, to it than that, but you know what I'm saying. A lot of the war effort was funded by these high-sec keep stars, and when CCP Games changed how they were able to monetize things, the people had to back off because they were just not cracking. They were a tough nut to crack, and they just couldn't do it. They were absolutely put down. Poppy, correct? CSSU. We just saw that in the down the rabbit hole. Correct. So I'm not on either side, y'all. I'm in a Ponchfin Corp. This is good content actually. I'm not on either side. I'm in a Ponchfin Corporation. We invade everybody. We get PvP where we find it. Thank you very much. So I literally don't care what side you're on. I think this is super interesting to cover nonetheless. Let's keep on talking about it. So yeah. So
capital without one, crashing the server, and two, taking an unimaginable amount of losses in that engagement. So we lost Aquarius, we lost Period Basis, we lost Fountain down to the core regions there. Not all of Fountain was deleted, but they were basically coming after Delve down here. So fast forward a few years, we did what's called the Great Migration, where we have them picked up and moved over to Tenerife, Immensea, Catch.
I love this visual that they're doing, by the way. Yeah, that was last year. You remember EVE Online actually tweeted this out. There was something like it was so large, I don't remember the number. It was many trillions in assets. Thousands and tens of thousands of capital ships, videos of there was a video that we saw live on stream back in the day of literal hundreds of capital ships just blipping, just going through and like Annecy Gate. It was honestly awe-inspiring watching the sheer amount of assets being pushed through a little black hole to poof to the other side of space. It was really cool to see. It was literally a moment in EVE's history called the Great Migration. Yes, so CCP had to actually physically modify and amp up the server nodes to support the migration. Wow, I believe it too. That sheer amount of assets. Pandemic also holds more space, but that means more undefended. Correct, there it is, exactly, yes. I respect the goons. They've been providing me with good content for 20 years. There it is, yes. Exactly. We're all providing each other content, exactly. So, it would be cool to say the Great Fragmentation. Yes, exactly, yeah.
And Impasse. That's our home system. This is all Imperium members here. Stain is obviously neutral NPC nullsec space. And we moved closer to our enemies, which is Horde up here. Horde and Fraternity are up there. Horde are up here, and then there's some other smaller groups in here, as well as Legion of Exdeath and a couple other small groups there, and NPC nullsec there, which normally does harbour people that are after small gang PvP or people wanting to farm loyalty point.
Why do you think they moved? Chat, why do you think the goons moved? Why leave Delve and Fountain? He says, and he's broad stroking, sure, that they moved to get closer to their enemy. Why do you think they moved? What do you think? It's an interesting thought experiment. We've got some nullsec politickers here, right? Better ISK? Is it really just that simple? It's always about the money, baby. Easier to fight them? That's true. That's what they were saying. The subversion, okay. Close to the enemies, there it is. Space was bad, there, right? You gotta get out of there. Goons versus Horde, you gotta get close to the enemy. It was good for my wallet. There it is, Silas. Yeah. Revenge. Yes. There it is. More space and access instead of being cornered. Maybe they're tired of fighting in Delve, you know what I'm saying? Interesting. Rebalance the nullsec area. I can tell you that a move like that, to me, and I know nobody, I've heard nothing, this is just me kind of macroing out looking at this. I see it as more of a pot stir than anything, right? The fighting in Delve and Fountain had been, not solved, but had been done before. What's the line from Ocean's 13? And you don't do the old gag, you do the new gag. Maybe they just wanted a little bit of a pot stir. I'm not going to keep doing that motion because the internet is the internet. Okay, maybe that's just that simple, right? Yeah, better ISK. They're bored and they're afraid the PvP players are slowly drifting away. I mean, fair, honestly. So yeah, let's just keep listening. Okay. Yes.
So on the Saturday night, Asher announced that as a consequence of them coming after us in the war, it's now time for us to go after them. Now, this is not what was what they called initially, or Villy called initially, a war of extermination, because that is quite an unrealistic goal to set, and you're setting yourself up to fail as soon as you say it, basically, because it's not going to happen.
Right.
So essentially, what we've done is announce that Horde rent out nullsec. They rent out for passive income. They charge corporations anywhere between 2 to 10 to 15 billion ISK per system, depending on how good that space.
Real life? They're out here charging billions in rent? I knew there was renting. I didn't know it was billions of ISK. How often? Like a month? That's still a lot. That's still a lot, dude. I mean, I get it, but also, ugh. Now, if you're renting from the big null block, does the null block help defend you? Or is it like, do whatever you want and pay us money? Because if they don't help defend you at all, monthly, yeah, okay, they don't help defend you, so it is the mafia. So it feels like the old gangster movies where the guys walk in and they're like, hey, you got our money? Listen, I know you sell bakeries. I know you're just a little bakery shop here, but you owe us a little money here. Don't you know we help defend you, as they show up with a bunch of bats and they break your stuff as they demand that your money. Interesting. I didn't know that was happening like that. The old protection racket, exactly. They say they'll defend you, but okay. We're part of the alliance, but no one is allowed to do anything in those rented systems. Okay, gotcha. Interesting. So sorry about ads, Chad, yeah. Previous corp I was in a few years ago was paying 4 dreads a month to rent the nullsec area. They will defend it because the SOV is theirs. Interesting. Okay, that makes sense. The SOV is that corp. I gotcha. Who is the bully, the landlord or the neighbor? Who's more fool, the fool or the fool who follows him? You know, take a shot every time we do an Obi-Wan Kenobi reference. Okay, thank you.
For money making. Now, things affect that space is the true sec. So like if it's a 0.1 or a 0.9 or a minus 1.0 security system. Okay. The further down to 1.0 you get, the more expensive it's going to be. Also, moons that are in that system, the good moons will be taken by Horde. So they can obviously still get the money from that, but they'll also charge for the system. So they can charge, like if you're a corporation in high sec that's got 30 members, you can pay up to 5 billion, 10, 15 billion ISK for a system for you and your members to come and live in nullsec. Now, you will have to pay them that money every month, otherwise they'll just come and remove you. It's that simple.
5 to 10 billion ISK a month. I'm thinking about this. If you've got a sizable corp, honestly, that doesn't sound like that much to me. Okay, that's incorrect. Is it incorrect? Say. Is it incorrect? Imagine paying for rent for space, just take it, but then you gotta take it, right? A week of Rorqual mining and it's fine. Yeah, 5 to 10 billion is to a newer player, that sounds like a lot, but you're a nullsec, baby. It's a different engine out there, okay? It's literally free real estate, it's not that much. What's more expensive? You taking your, let's use his example, 30 player high sec corporation, and you're like, you know what, I wanna go into nullsec. What's more expensive? You having to pay let's say it's at the top, 10 billion ISK a month to be able to rent from goons or Horde, and then you make that back in like a week, maybe let's call it 2 weeks, what's over, but you're safe from them, or you having to PvP against goons, against Horde, as a high-sec corporation? That seems like a lot. I've rented it in the past, made a ton of ISK, and got out when done. I think renting is actually the right thing, so if you're in a high-sec corp and you want to go rent, check out Pandemic Hoarding Goons. I have no problem calling them out, When my Pochman Corporation shows up in your system, please don't dock your Ishtars. The entry was a bottleneck that allowed people to survive taking advantage of the tie-dye. Really? See, we heard about this a lot, actually, that there was a lot of problems back in the day with the tie-dye, with the service crashing, all that stuff, for sure, out in 1DQ. Yeah, good perspective from our Kick viewers. Love to see it. So, goons around, we prefer friends and allies to hold space. I mean, that makes sense, Incline. That makes sense to me. So, renting is just a flat fee compared to being taxed. Right. I think if you have the option to go rent a nullsec and you have a sizable corp that can go do that, that's a good idea. I think that's much cheaper than going to war with a null block. Do you like having assets? Because if you go to war with a null block and you got 30 people, you're not going to win that, you know. So
now this renting has been going on for a very, very, very long time, and is actually quite predominantly bad for the game. Yes, it gives small groups an insight into nullsec, but essentially they end up aligning with one of the big blocks, and then they are very susceptible to getting rolled by groups that don't like renters, like Goon Swarm. We think renting is bad for the game. It should be left. If no one can take it, it should be left to be fought over. Simple as it should.
Type 1 if you think renting in nullsec is bad. Type 2 if you think renting in nullsec is good. I want to see some. I want to see something. 1 bad, 2 good. 2 good. Type that out there. Type that out there, chat. 2 good. What do we think? I see a lot of 1s. See some 2s. A lot of 1s. It's like 1/3 2s, 2/3 1. Okay. Right, the person saying 2 lives in a rented system. Exactly. That's super intriguing. I never thought about renting being bad for the game. I'd love to talk to goons about that in maybe some kind of interview with them. So, hey, goon directors, why don't you hit me up on the DMs and we'll talk to you about why you think it's good for the game, or bad for the game, excuse me. And then maybe we get someone from Horde arguing why they think it's bad for the game, and we can have a nice like 3-way discussion going on what is better for the game long term. I think that'd be really cool content for people. So hit me up, Horde goons. Let's definitely get some dialogue going for the people. For the people. Okay, let's see about it. Let's see.
Should be left to be fought over by smaller groups, and the strongest group takes the space. And nullsec should not just be allowed to. You should not be able to live in nullsec if you're a 20-man corp without any contest, because nullsec is predominantly PvP focused as well as industry focused through the resources that you can get out there. But a 15-man corp should not be able to hold a solar system.
Interesting take.
On their own. You need to be in an alliance that can actually fight and defend that space. That is what nullsec is for. It is not meant for smaller groups pay a big group for money to live there and just farm money. It's not meant for that, and we don't like it.
That's interesting. A player talking about what the area of the video game is meant for. That's intriguing to me, because you really get into like the philosophical aspect of like what the game is versus what people expect it to be. That's like a topic for its own video. I could literally go on. Let's just keep going. I'd love to talk about that with goons and Horde in like a little debate going on. That would be sick, actually. I'd like that. Oh.
Horde basically say, we're going to protect you. You can live here, this, that, and the other. But what actually happens is, as what's happening now during now the war's happening, all these renters are getting kicked out because they're renters, and Horde are not defending them. They've actually unanchored everything here. Unanchored everything in Scalding Pass. Innsmother and Northern Coalition have unanchored everything in Cache. They are unanchoring and they're pulling back to up here, which means that the rental agreement doesn't hold its weight at all. There's nothing holds its weight in there, but that's a completely different topic. So
and remember, he's in goons, and the stuff he believes about. Interesting how the difference in corporations come down to a difference in ideation. In ideology, like we got anime level, like anime protagonist, you know, I think renting is fine, and on the other side it's like, from my point of view, the renters are evil. You know, you literally have like Anakin Obi-Wan, there's another one, you know. It's interesting, right? He lost to me and it shouldn't be allowed. I agree that that's a very broad stroke, and that's quite literally a topic for an entire other video. Suffice it to say, it sounds like the goons don't like renting and they'll fight the renters, and the Pandemic Horde are okay with renting, is what it sounds like. Again, I'd like to hear from them too. And I don't know if one of them, I don't think either is morally wrong, just to be clear, that's my stance. None of this is morally incorrect. It's just the different in ideology. So, you know, right, like, what's nullsec for? Wow, that's a topic for a big debate video. You know, we should, chat, would you like me to moderate a debate between the big nullsec alliances on the topics of the day? Type 5 if you would like me to moderate a debate for that. You know what I'm saying? I think that would be sick. I think that'd be cool to like, what is nullsec for? Hey, in it, Horde goons, it's time to talk. Okay, come on down.
Since the war announcement, we have moved super carriers, titans, thousands of sub-capital ships, battleships, normal ships, command ships, battle cruisers, thousands upon thousands have moved up into Scalding Pass to N3 where I am here. So I've shuttled out and got here.
Yep.
So it can obviously be in staging, and I'm going to start moving some stuff later. So what's going to happen is, initially, we've got to get that Keep Star online, which has been anchored, and there was a whole funny meme about that, but that's a different topic.
You saw there, so they've anchored this Keep Star, it sounds like. You saw in our Down the Rabbit Hole series, anchoring a Keep Star as a forward operating base is a massive thing. Keep Star, it's not just like, oh, yeah, we anchored a station. It's like a massive thing that is a big deal. It establishes the front line. Is it Keep Tar? What is this? They anchored a Keep Tar. You know, I keep wanting to say keep Star, Chad, you know? I know what you're doing. Thank you. It's very interesting. Yeah, it's a beachhead. Correct, Cal Mac. Right. It's saying it's a formal declaration. Hey, we're here, you know? What's up? We're gonna keep doing it. Oh, they're gonna keep poking it for sure. It's right, exactly. It is called a Keep Star, chat, but it is a giant meme. So, is it a false flag? Is it a real flag? Is it a red flag, an orange flag? Is it like my ex? Is it a giant red flag? We'll have to see. Okay.
So our staging Keep Star has been anchored.
Okay.
There was no contest for it. Horde didn't try and contest it. They didn't try and fight to stop us putting it down. All Horde have done since the announcement is unanchor everything in Scalding Pass, Innsmother, and Cache, and pulling everything back. They're doing a tactical retreat backward.
Maybe Horde didn't attack the new Keep Star, the Keep Tar, because Goons is paying rent to Horde, right? Because they let the renters do that, right? Is that because you can just keep the space if they pay rent? Maybe Goons are paying them rent. Yes, we've figured it out. War complete. Done. They're just paying them rent to use the space, right? You know?
Tactical advance backwards. I'm sorry.
Very silly.
So with that, we've managed to get our Keep Star online.
Okay.
It didn't take long. It's 24 hours from when you drop it, so it's gone online, and it's starting to get stuff moved into it now. So what's going to happen going forward is Innsmother is going to burn. Everything and anything that's Horde or Horde related or Horde affiliated is going to burn. And when they hit on anchor, there is 7 days for these structures to unanchor before they can be scooped. In that time, they can be reinforced, and the unanchoring stage cancels. So there's going to be a scramble to reinforce everything to stop them getting anything out of here that's theirs.
Rothar asks, why do both sides hate each other? Let me describe it to you in a very simple analogy. When Pokemon Go came out, follow me. When Pokemon Go came out, I chose Valor, the Moltres red team, because my favorite color is red. I was outside with my brothers, and we were going around finding Pokemon, and somebody, we passed a group of people wearing a bunch of blue shirts, and I was wearing a red shirt just because I was like, yeah, whatever, you know? And these guys were like, Team Valor, lame. And I went, those guys just made fun of me because of a team I picked in a game that came out this week. It literally is the meme where you pick up a red flag, you look at somebody holding a blue flag, and you go, I don't like those guys. They're holding a blue flag. I don't like them at all. It's that quick. Why don't they like each other? Because if you're playing the game, the person that's on the other side is your rival by default. That's just how it goes. Seems legit. And I've got orange on right now. Try those. Yeah, sure. So, you know, and I don't care, Chad, you can literally add me on Pokemon Go whenever I'm at an airport. I'm sitting there catching Pokemon, just like I have to give me that Snorlax, you know, come on down. Let's totally get it done. So, correct. I always say, we're not enemies, we're rivals, because we're all playing the same game. It's just a video game, but hate is a strong word. I think we're all rivals. Yes. So, correct. Hey, there it is, Bill. You know, exactly. I don't particularly care for what side I'm on. I just want to fight. That's it. You know. What fun, right? What fun would the game be if everybody was on the same team? It sounds lame to me. So for sure, yes.
So in this time, also sovereignty will then be contested through Entosis in the Sov Hub to take it all. Goons do not want to take it. Goons do not want to live in this space. It's not that great space. It's nice and clustered together. Don't get me wrong. It is a nice clustered together, like all this up here. It is really clustered together, which is good for projection and...
You know, Goons don't want the Innsmother space. They're going to burn down the stations, but they don't want the space. And I think I have a solution. Goons, since you don't want the inn's mother space, you don't want to have sovereignty there, you just want to burn it down. I had this really crazy idea. You know how in real life, real estate developers will buy plots of land and then build townhomes on them, and then they'll let people live in the homes they own and pay them rent. They'll let them pay you rent. And then you own the land, but there's people living in those buildings. I think what you should do is you should you should let people rent there. Yes. It sounds good to me. You know, yeah, it's this new idea. I don't know where it came from. It just kind of happened to me. It's a good idea. It's a good idea. So.
Defending the space. It's
do
really
what you want.
But it's
please don't read.
The TrueSec is actually not that good on that area. There's some pockets that I do have.
For our new bros, what's TrueSec? Can you explain to the new bros chat? TrueSec, nullsec. Some new people are going to watch. So we got a lot of new people coming in. What is TrueSec? Is that? How would you describe it, chat? Okay, you know, tell me about it. The housing war definitely is. Light bulb got just the, you know. What's TrueSec, chat? Tell them what it is. Describe it. I literally see chat stopping because people are typing their stuff. You know what I'm saying? So Slumlords Unite. There it is, Dr. BBQ. Yes, exactly. So if they're further north, I don't get why they're doing this for small potatoes, because they just want to fight. You know, real. That's what I would call it. So when y'all get ready, what's TrueSec? Type it in for the new bros. I want them to see it too. Okay, let's see about it. The Great War of Real Estate.
TrueSec, but what our goal is to push Horde back to the drone lands up here, along here.
Yes.
Push Horde back up here and leave this burning, smouldering for smaller groups to expand, to come and fight out for it. So then we will live here. There'll be a group of nullsec groups, that small nullsec groups that can either fight each other or ally together to defend the space from, you know, Horde. Or we're not going to like try and kick them out and take them. We might roam the space, but that's probably about it. These guys.
So they want he says that what goons want, and again, this is a you know, take it with a grain of salt. So from Google AI, TrueSec is a more precise term to be described as specific security value of a system within that range. Yeah, that's too broad. Isn't TrueSec just -1 space? Isn't that all it is? It's just the exact -1 space. Isn't that it? It's like the lowest low sec or the lowest null sec. Isn't that what it is? They literally want to make, based on his stuff, they want to be here, you know, and Horde is here. This is going to get sexual. They want to own this. They want to own this. And Horde has this, and they say all of this is like no man's land, and you can just take it if you want and call it a day. But that's just going to be a crap ton of PvP. All right, -1 is TrueSec. It's really just that simple. Ooh, what happened to my pen? It got very, very large. So I got to tell you that I hear that, and I respect the goons for this war of attrition. My favorite war to wage is a war of attrition. In all of my stuff, right? That's the point. Yes. Nobody wants the space between Horde and goons. That's kind of what my next point was going to be, is that goons don't have to hold the land. They're just going to stop Horde from owning the land. And you think about this. Horde, let's say they want to push Horde back to this. So all this was like Horde rented land. The Horde owned it, and they were getting a crap ton of ISK essentially for free with no obligation of defense. Because if a high-sec corp comes in, or any corp comes in and rents the space, Horde gets a bunch of money, and then that goes into their coffers, and they don't have to come defend. And if that corp that is renting the space gets ousted, well, the next corp that comes in, Horde comes to them and goes, hey, you have to give us rent or we're going to oust you. And the ISK faucet just keeps flowing for them. I think my macro brain is that this is what Goons wants to do. And I don't know anything about this. I'm just saying, this is what I'm talking about. I think Goons is pushing Horde back to take away all this free renting money that's coming from this no man's land that's happening there. That sounds like a very reasonable macro war effort to me. Very interesting. Very interesting. So 10 systems already flipped from Pandemic Horde last night. It's big, y'all. It's big. Crazy. Cut their iskies. At the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, it's all about them iskies. You know?
We'll probably try and be oppressive, and as soon as we've cleared this, burnt this down, all this is all nothing belonging to Horde, NC, or anyone affiliated, and then we pull back, it will probably end up them trying to creep in again and try and take it again, which is probably mean us coming back out and leaving and kicking them out again. I think one of the main goals is to have some form, like these green lines are called anti-blex jump bridges. These allow us to connect from here to here without having to go all the way around or all the way around. So it's basically,
oh my God, that's such a big anti-blex. Do you see this? In order to go from this area, you have to go down here, up here, here. This bridge cuts down all of that jumping. What is that, 50 jumps? It's pretty sick. Nice anti-blex there.
Here to here without
the
having
network is girthy.
to go all the way around or all the way around. So it's basically like making a highway. And I think one of the goals is to get a highway right up to Horde space.
Yo.
So we can project and push and, you know, attack them as of when we see fit. Because they're our enemies, and they always will be our enemies because they are a scummy alliance. But
what would I name this war? Based on this video, because that's all I've seen so far, what would I name this war? Would you call it a world war? Chat? Would you call it a world war? Because there was like World War B. I like Slum Wars. Sounds interesting. Now, I do think it's interesting that it happened during Legion. Why Legion? Maybe because of this. Why now is kind of my question. You know, because maybe during this, maybe the sovereignty stuff, people are kind of pushing with that. I think that now that nullsec mining is in a much better place, fighting can happen, right? Because now that there's better mining, you can get that done. I'll have to think about that. World War B2. How dare you? How dare you? Ban him!
Not down to their members, that's down to their leadership. The members are normally, most of them are all right. There are some, obviously, full Kool-Aid drinkers, but you get that in every alliance. You get that in Goons, you get that everywhere. The members are fine. It is the leadership that are scummy, that make all the horrible decisions about renting, about taxing anomalies, like your anomalies that spawn in the system, they tax them.
Really?
Tax, after your first billion ISK, you've got to pay tax on it all. It's a really scummy way to run your alliance. But
interesting.
That's their leadership, and if they want to be in that alliance with their dodgy leadership like that, fine. But we don't want.
It's kind of what I'm talking about the propaganda. Just because you disagree with their policy doesn't mean it's like necessarily bad. You can of course have opinions on it. I definitely want to talk to both sides on this because it really comes down to the way he's presenting it, and this is one guy talking, okay, it's a difference of ideas of what nullsec is for. At like a very macro sense. Like, what's it for? Pandemic Court is like, look, if people want to come in, we're not going to stop them from coming in, but they had to pay us or we're going to evict them. I don't think that's morally wrong at all. That sounds fine to me. It sounds like a decent way for you to flex your muscle as the biggest country in EVE, as the biggest corporation alliance in EVE, right? Whatever. And then Goon says, you know what, we don't like that you're just printing free ISK. We're going to come in and take out the kneecaps from under you and take out this free ISKs and just keep it going. So definitely Goon bias because he's in Goons, of course, right? So right, Horace, I actually agree. I would love, so hey, someone from Horde, come talk to me and we can rebut this and we can get some dialogue going. Sounds great to me. So,
Renters here. Oh. We don't want renters right next to us, basically. And we think this will be much better off with smaller groups fighting for it, and actually, some groups coming out of low sec to try and take soft space and get some fights and have stuff blow up, and maybe we can come third party on some fights, or Horde can come in third party and we will fourth party and kill Horde. And I don't know, any excuse really. But there's going to be a lot of explosions going on here, and mainly structures dying. I don't suspect Horde will fight too hard for this, because all they're going to do is pull everything back and sit on these regional gates here.
Especially with the Barbaroga now, you're going to see a lot of single kill structures. Like a Barbaroga solos a structure. You're going to see that a lot now, because the test server, you watched our Barbaroga video, one of our fellow EVE partners, Gustav, was able to get it up to just under 14,000 DPS. Did you hear what I just said? Marauder spooled up to 14K. All right, I was able to get like 9, 10 because I couldn't get boosters or anything like that. I didn't even use implants, boosters, or nothing. It was like 9 to 10K-ish. That is insane. Yes, we have full fits over in our YouTube video. Go check it out, okay? You're gonna see that a lot, especially because it's a sub cap, right? You used to be able to have to get that with bigger capital ships. We'll see what the Sarathiel does for this too. I think the Sarathiel is going to be something that people discounted at the start as just like a meme. So I've seen theoretical 20K, there it is, right? The Sarathiel, I've said this, that I think the Barbaroga is the Marauder killing Marauder, how it's set up. And the Sarathiel could be, we'll have to see some more testing, the Dread killing Dread. Because of the fact it can reposition, it can MJD while it's bastioned up. So you don't have a DPS loss while you reposition. That's bananas. Every other Dread has to catch up, okay? And of course, the Sarathiel can, the Barbarogas, of course, exactly. So, Goons don't call it rent. They just add you as the swarm. And if you're not a goon direct, you just get used. And this is kind of the point, right? Is goons may say we don't like renting, but if they do renting from a different point of view, from a certain point of view. Now, what are we up to? 5 shots now from the Obi-Wan jokes? Let's go.
Imagine
so good.
RXA and GTAC-Q is going to be a hot point for them.
Yes, it will.
Because, yes, okay, we can come through there.
Uh-huh.
But again, that does come through into GTAC-Q.
Right, Co, exactly.
And also, this is essentially a backdoor into the space, so they're going to have some form of jump bridge network along here so they can travel as of when, whichever area we seem to go. But that is a war update. That's what's going to happen. Now, how this affects the rest of the game?
A lot.
So there's going to be a huge dumpster fire of materials going to being blown up, ships dying, ammo being used, and essentially it will not drain completely on both sides. There will be certain materials that have to get imported because you can't get them here. And there will be certain materials that will then get...
Hey, guy, we got the maker in the chat right now. Galaxier, it's good to see you. Yo, good video, dude. I love these. Keep making these. I just found you. We're going to react to you more. Can we get some 07s chat for the makers in the chat? We're going to link this video as well, the whole thing. So, good afternoon. This is great stuff so far. I like your points about this. Chat, we always, when we react to these videos, thank you for the 07s, y'all. It's whenever a big war in nullsec is happening, are you ready to get money if you're a miner, if you're a rock enjoyer, okay? Like, you are ready, ladies and gentlemen. If you are a high sec miner, get the multi-boxes out, ladies and gentlemen. The price of things is about to go up, up, up. Okay, let's, I hate when my stupid thing is like this, y'all. I gotta zoom in to see any kind of fluctuations, okay, with my mouse wheel here. So, Pyrite's still going up. You're going to see this. I think it's going to keep going up, y'all. Massive nullsec war is going to be a huge draw on materials, on the Mitsubishi materials. It's going to be fantastic stuff, and you're going to see this war is only a couple days old, and we're already seeing, look, we have record quantities coming in here. 5 billion pyrite in a day. That's a lot. Woo, that's a lot, dude. Incoming multi-boxing, ladies and gentlemen, all right? It's just going to be good stuff, so if you are a indie person, get ready to make some money, y'all.
Be deleted.
You best believe. Let's see how Goons and everybody uses the freelance contracts, right? This will be interesting. Like, fund the war effort can now literally be freelanced out, right? Like, hey, make us, I don't know, make us rocks, whatever they're using. Feroxes are big right now. So everybody make some Feroxes, give us this, and we'll give you a good price. That's pretty sick. Haul it here and we'll give you more. That sounds interesting. So, you know, that's right. Yes, Stuffman, what's up, dude? I am not a northerner. I am a northerner. I guess I'm in North America, if that's what you mean. Yes, sir. So, contract, mine in enemy space. I've said this, that type C crystals need some kind of change or buff. That's like another video. Because I love the idea of like a war of attrition on crystals. Like, I don't need to mine these crystals. I just don't want you to have them. That's super interesting to me. Resource denial in mining contract. Yeah, dude. Interesting. Yes. Oh, got you, Duffman. Yes, sir. I got you. Yeah. Okay, what's keep watching?
Well, not deleted, but they will be
super interesting.
Bought in much higher quantities from the G to market and shipped out to these areas. So things like very certain ships or ammo types or something like that we can't get down here, but they can, that they export. They might even slow down their exports.
True.
We might slow down exports, but there's going to be an economical war going on as well. So there's going to be
always is
materials being taken from high sec down into null sec to make stuff for the war machine. So some prices may go up. So probably keep an eye on those as well. Certain prices being bought out and being manipulated, manipulated to.
Gotta love when there's wars in
get higher prices.
Let me see. You can see his face.
So there's a lot of things that are affecting this, and also there may be some more low sec groups that decide to want to align themselves with the Imperium and come and fight and kill Horde stuff. There might be some guys that would align with Horde when it comes to kill some Imperium stuff. There's going to be gate camp.
Raven navies have gone off the market almost. Yeah, chat, pay attention to the Oz report and pay attention to stuff like this, because Oz always kind of checks on what's in short supply. They're gone! You said gone. I thought you were hyperbolizing. They're literally not even there. There's none. Well, there's two on the market. These guys are gonna cancel it and put it up for 2 billion isk. What the heck, dude? So the Raven navies normally go for like 500 million isk, 600 million isk, 600 million isk. Now they're going for, yesterday they were going for 600 million isk. Now there's two and they're going for 1 billion isk. Dodixie is half price. By the way, you're going to see a lot of that too. This is hilarious. Oof, luckily I have one on my hanger. Go sell it now, dude. You can literally put it up for 1 billion isk. Yeah, definitely go make sure you're following the Oz report too, y'all, because Oz does some really great stuff. We reacted to him in the past. You can get ready for these market fluctuations as this New Eve war is going. As the, I don't know if I should call it no man's null. Null man's land. That sounds stupid. No man's null. The NMN war. No man's land. NML war. Something like that. Because y'all are making a no man's land in between Pandemic Horde and Goons. It's silly. I like it.
From areas. There's a lot of opportunity for small gangs to come in and attack and have their little impact on the war as well.
Yes, there is.
So it's going to be interesting to see just how much of that goes on. But I am going to be doing fight engagement videos. So when there's a fight going on and I'm on the fleet, I'm going to be recording it, and then I'll be doing,
looking forward to reacting to those.
Or, tidbits of what's going on here and there and how this could have gone.
We do that, Craig. By the way, Craig says, I'm going to sell my Raven Navy tonight. Craig, in all of these news videos, I like to show you the market and like how you can make money off of this, because maybe you're not coming to this. I like that better, Krakar. This is like DMZ, like the World War, maybe like DML, like the demilitarized, or DMN, demilitarized null. Yeah, I think that's it. World War DMN, World War DMN, the demilitarized null.
Better, or how
making the no man's zone.
And
DMN.
we're going to be doing stuff like that, and also with big changes as stuff going to into Eve, like the new map that's coming out. We're going to be looking into all that as well, which is really, really nice. I do like. I'm looking forward to the new map. It does look really nice. But guys, that is I wouldn't say very quick, because it's probably gone on for longer than I expected, explaining everything.
That's great stuff, man.
I to waffle on quite a bit. But also, guys, I'm going to be streaming over on Twitch. We're going to be streaming some PvP fleets that we're going to take out over here, probably do a bit of exploration and see how long we can go around stealing their relic sites, because why not? And we're going to be streaming other things over on Twitch, which is linked down below, but also twitch.tv/Glaxia_. And also, guys, I have noticed that 99% is an absolutely ridiculous number. 99 or 96, I think it's 96%. No, it's 96% of people that watch these videos aren't actually subscribed. So if you are new to the channel and you want to see more of my back catalogue, or you want to see some more stuff that's coming, please drop a subscribe. Or even if you did like the video, or you like any of my previous videos on Eve.
We always watch the ad read, chat, to respect the creator. Okay, we always do.
Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you've made it this far, let me know in the comments below, and let me know which side you were actually on. If you're on the Horde side, or if you're on the Goon side. I don't mean to badmouth Horde. It's not the members that I actually badmouth, or because I've actually spoken to quite a few Horde members, and some of them are actually really solid guys. But it's the leadership and the scummy decisions that they make, which I personally don't like, but it doesn't mean that they are bad for the game, but they need to be evicted or anything like that. But that's just my opinion.
Sure, whatever, Chat, we just linked the video for you. Definitely go give it a like, go give them a sub, get that percentage down, ladies and gentlemen. And if you want more Eve guides like this, make sure you check this playlist out right here, bookmark it. If you want the best Eve guides and news, sub right here. We'll see you in the next video. Thanks very, very much.